Yeah, so a couple of weeks back, you might remember I did a video talking about CRMs briefly, but I also touched on the fact that I had a client who was moving. And this client, her husband got promoted at his job or whatever, so they moved a long way away, and they sold their house. Well, this is one of my properties in my subdivision that I work in. So I had seven properties in that subdivision, and so this client was selling their house, put their house on the market, sold their house, and so now I'm down to six properties. So I mowed the yard for the final time, and then they told me, hey, we're closing. The person is buying the house. They're closing on, Monday, so we won't need you anymore. Said my goodbyes. Everything cool, they said we'll leave the number with the new owners. Good deal. So that was it for them, and that was on a Monday. I did that video talking about CRMs and another client gone, I believe is the name of the title of the video. But I was talking briefly about that, and so that Thursday came around, which I'm in that area to cut that subdivision on Thursday. That Thursday came around. I hadn't heard from the new owners yet, so I didn't do anything on the yard. Well, I cut all my other six properties in the area. No problem. Everything good. Well, one of the yards in the neighborhood, one of my other properties in that subdivision, is across the street from this house that just sold. And the lady that lived there told me, hey, asked me out of the blue, because I send my usual message. I'm gonna, finished up, gate is secured, thank you, have a great weekend, that sort of thing. She randomly asked me out of the blue, am I going to be in the area tomorrow? And I'm going, that's an odd question. So I told her, no, I don't work. I'm not in the area on Friday. I am in a different part of town Friday. And I said, I'll be in the area again on Monday, because Monday I do the bed maintenance and cleanups and, just minor work in the area that I need to get done, because Thursday's reserved for just the grass cutting. So she said, okay, drop by on Monday. I'll be here. I need to talk to you. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So Monday rolls around. I messaged her, didn't hear anything. So I'm like, okay, maybe she's had other things going on. I guess I'll talk to her on Thursday. So I left the area. I had already left the area. Well, she messages me back. I had just gotten down the street. Yes, I'm home. If you can drop by, I need to tell you about something. I'm like, oh, okay. That's fine. So I wasn't too far away. So I did a U-turn, swung back around, and on my way back to the area, I'm thinking to myself, okay, the way this lady is talking, she's going to tell me, she's going to tell me the way things are going this season. She's going to tell me I'm selling the house and I'm moving, and I'm just letting you know that I'm putting my house on the market and I'm moving. And I'm like, oh man, this is going to be great. I'm already down to 6 in this neighborhood. Now I'm going to be down to 5. Like this, I don't need to be losing another client for some reason, like this, So I get back to the area. I'm talking to her. I knock on the door. She comes outside. We're, talking about the landscape, and she goes, yeah, I needed to talk to you because, and then she tells me, she says, because I'm moving and I'm putting my house on the market, is what she tells me at first. I'm selling my house and I'm putting my house on the market, and in my head I'm thinking, okay, I called it. How could I have not seen this coming? It's been this kind of year already. And then she says, but the reason I'm telling you I'm moving, and then she points across the street. She goes, I'm moving right over there. And she points to the house that just sold, to the clients that just moved out and moved up north. And I'm going, what? And I look at her and I'm like, I'm sorry, did you say that again? You're moving, you're selling this house and moving over there? And she goes, yeah, and she tells me why and everything, and it made sense, but it was kind of weird. I never had a client sell a house just to move across the street, literally across the street, like directly. Like your front door is here, you're moving directly across the street, almost exactly in line of your house. And I'm like, that's that's wild. You know, it's the first time I've ever encountered this. So that's why I said I lost a client and then I gained a client at the same time, because it's like, it's going to be the same client, but a different address. But it's still a service address that's in our system that I've worked at. So it's going to be like, it's going to be confusing for a little while. So she tells me, yeah, I'm selling this house, putting it on the market, etc., etc. I'm going to, if you could cut both of the properties, you know, for a little while until I get this one sold, and then keep cutting this other one, you know, that I'm moving into. And I'm like, yeah, I can. That's fine. That's easy. You know, I can do that. I'm in here. And she go, I didn't know that you were a client of theirs as well until I saw the letter that they wrote me a letter and everything. And I was like, And then I got to thinking, but, you know, well, then I got to thinking, wouldn't you have seen me outside working at all these property? But then I thought, no, probably not, because people are working. They're not home during the day. You know, nobody sees exactly what everybody's doing. So, like, okay, I guess I kind of understand that. But yeah, that was just a really strange thing that happened to me, and I just kind of had to process it for a few days, because I wasn't sure, like, I don't know how to explain it. It took me off guard. It really took me off guard. And it's been that kind of season where, you know, I'm kind of expecting now that customers are gonna, you know, certain things are gonna happen, because I've lost, you know, you usually lose a couple of clients every year and pick up a couple of clients, so it kind of offsets. But this season, you know, I've lost more clients than I've picked up so far, and the ones that I've lost, a lot of them are for stupid reasons and strange reasons that I've never encountered before, things that I've never had to deal with. And this is one such thing. I've never had to deal with somebody, you know, selling their house and then buying a house literally across the street from them and moving across the street. Like, that is a very bizarre situation. But yeah, needless to say, that was the story that I was going to tell. So here it is, telling y'all now. And we'll see if it gets any weirder from here on out, but I'm thinking everything's going to kind of calm down here soon, hopefully. We're towards the end of June here, approaching the end of June, so we're almost at the pretty much July 4th I pretty much consider the 4th of July to be the halfway point of the season. So we're approaching the halfway point of the season, so hopefully things are going to calm down in that regard. We'll pick up some new work here and there, and everything will be peachy, as they say. So yeah, that's the latest weird story I got. If any of y'all can relate, you know, I'd love to hear some similar client stories about, you know, people selling and moving across the street. Has anybody else had that happen? Any of y'all who watch these videos, any of y'all had that happen? I'd feel free to share. I'd love to hear about it.